weather, and really the big question, will we see another triple-digit day or week?
Yes, yeah. It has been a long stretch of triple-digit temperatures here. And we also want to mention that, of course, we are streaming the U.S. Capitol hearings. The hearings are about the January 6th riots, that attack at the Capitol. So this is day 2 of those riots, and that's streamed right now on KSAT.com. So we will continue to follow that story throughout the rest of the day.
But first, we want to start with a story that left many shocked, and still, especially the LGBTQ plus community. And let's remember that June marks Pride Month. So over the weekend, dozens of men were detained and arrested in Idaho, and this because they were suspected of conspiracy to riot. Those men are set to be arraigned today.
That's right. And this incident happened in northern Idaho, a town there. A total of 31 people were arrested after they were found packed inside of a U-Haul. Police found several items, including riot gear, shields, 1 smoke grenade, and paperwork of a plan to riot a Pride event.
So these men are members of Patriot Front. That's a white nationalist organization. And the Southern Poverty Law Center, which is a national group, they described this group as a, quote, white nationalist hate group and one of the most prominent in the U.S.
So here's some more details about this group here. At least 10 traveled from out of the state, and these states include Arkansas, Colorado, Illinois, Oregon, South Dakota, Utah, Washington, Wyoming, and Virginia, and Texas as well. So keep that one in mind. Only one of the members was from Idaho.
So this, again, happened the day of a big Pride event that was going on in that town, and understandably so, people are on edge after seeing really just these pictures and videos of these men. Their faces were covered with, like white neck gaiters. They had patches on their arm. They really were, people were describing them looking like a little army, right? Because they all looked the same. They were like in uniform. Well, yesterday, the LGBTQ plus advocates said that polarization and a fraught political climate are putting their community increasingly at risk. They're meaning the LGBTQ plus community, right? Yeah. They found paperwork that, that this group was targeting those at the Pride event to instill fear and possibly harm them.
Well, yeah, and I think that's the thing, is that this is just the thought of this is frightening, to think that these people were out there to celebrate the LGBTQ plus community, and then you have these individuals that are going there with specific plans to really kind of cause, whatever mayhem that they possibly could. So I'm not sure how authorities were tipped off about this.
So someone called. Okay. Someone called, and this is a great example. If you see something suspicious, report it. I believe it was a woman. Someone called and said, "Hey, I noticed about 20 men who look the same, like in uniform, faces covered, packing, getting into a U-Haul." One, it's not allowed for any person to be in the back of a U-Haul. It's against the rules of the company. So they saw that that was wrong, and they called police, and thankfully police did respond, and this was an effort between local and federal. So we know that FBI also got involved, and they were able to put a stop to this.
Right, and credit to that individual who called authorities, just kind of noticing that, because there could have been a lot of damage done, and as we were saying, maybe possibly injuries, but thankfully that did not happen. But still, the LGBTQ plus community trying to celebrate this month and just being marginalized in many different ways, including that, remember that Texas lawmaker who's trying to ban children from going to drag shows. So
which is why it's so dangerous when, again, elected officials or people in places of a lot of power, if you will, keep bringing these ideas of homophobia and transphobia, right? Absolutely. It's dangerous. But we'll keep you updated. Those men, again, set to be arraigned today, so there will be more details, and several of them from Texas.
That's right. So switching to another big story from over the weekend, this coming out of Washington, D.C., where there's been a breakthrough on gun violence and reform, and this comes after weeks of mass shootings, including, of course, the tragedy right here close to home in Uvalde. Yeah,
so a bipartisan group of senators agreed to a new gun safety framework they say can earn support from both sides of the aisle when it reaches the Senate.
The tentative deal would strengthen background checks, allowing juvenile records to be screened for gun buyers younger than 21 years old.
So it would also expand gun restrictions for convicted domestic violence abusers. and allocate funding for states to put in red flag laws. Those would temporarily remove guns from people that are considered to be dangerous. You know, they have some type of background that disqualifies them from this.
Right, and a big part of this deal too was adding more school security. We know that's been a big point of discussion here throughout these conversations, and of course mental health programs as well. So the gun policy framework will need at least 10 Republicans to pass in the Senate. If it does, it will mark the most significant gun legislation passed in the U.S. since the 1990s.
And right now we talk about, you know, you mentioned after weeks of these mass shootings and the number of deaths already, and just over the weekend remembering those who were killed at Pulse nightclub. And so just with the most recent ones, it seems to be adding momentum, and I think that's a lot of the community of Uvalde saying, you know, do not forget us and remember our pain. And it's situations, unfortunately, like those that are helping bring change, like this gun legislation that could finally happen. It's something that for years people, you know, advocates have been pushing for.
Yeah, and you figured obviously there's compromise that comes into this. So obviously President Biden had pushed for tougher restrictions, including an assault weapon ban. That is not part of this because of the people that wanted to defend the Second Amendment. Now, President Biden did tweet saying that, you know, it does not do everything that he feels is needed, but it is an important step in the right direction. So it is good to know that these lawmakers are finally working, and it's unfortunate it takes something like, you know, what we've seen mass shootings and things like in Uvalde to finally get the ball rolling on these things.
And in Uvalde today, another one of those young victims who was tragically killed at Robb Elementary is being laid to rest this morning.
Yeah, funeral and burial service is being held this morning for 10-year-old Tess Mata. And Tess's obituary says that she loves softball and soccer, and she was a big Astros fan. Her mom said that her daughter had the biggest smile ever. You can see that if you're watching on the visual platforms. And she wants her to be remembered for the awesome little girl that she was.
And she absolutely will be. That's Tess Mata. Well, the Washington Post reported the family has been saving up in hopes of taking a family vacation to Disney World. That was the plan for the summer.
Yeah, very sad. And she also had dreams to be a TikTok star and have her videos go viral, which I know that some of her family has now posted some of those videos on TikTok. They have been seen by thousands and thousands of people and liked by thousands and thousands of people. But another funeral today is a very sad reminder of what's happened in the past 2 weeks.
It's those little aspects that are so important to remember. In this case, Tess's mom said, you know, she was too young, so I didn't allow her to have an account on TikTok. But after her passing, she's like, I opened up an account and I'm posting them because I want to share her light, right? So making her dreams a reality. And the San Antonio Missions baseball team is actually representing Uvalde during their game Thursday at Wolf Stadium. So Mission players will wear a replica of the Uvalde Coyote baseball jerseys, and this is of course to honor the students and teachers killed at Robb Elementary School. So we'll be seeing a lot of maroon on
Absolutely,
Thursday.
yeah, at the Wolf. And so people who attend this game, fans, can bid on the jerseys that players are wearing. This is going to be bidding during and after the game, and all the money raised here will be donated to the Robb School Memorial Fund. The auction will stop 15 minutes after the game's final out. So another cool kind of note about this is that the Missions reached out to Wilson. They are the company that does all the gloves and a lot of the baseball equipment, and they basically said that that Wilson put together these jerseys within about a week. Wow. So they worked to get obviously the school replica jerseys from Uvalde to have the Missions players wear. So that's a lot of teamwork there coming together to help out those people, that community.
That's beautiful. That's what we want to see more of.
Yeah. Well, now to a reality that no American can escape, Alicia. So you were in Dallas, right?
Houston.
In Houston, okay. Yeah. You were in Houston. Gas prices. Ooh. How much?
Well,
how tough was it on you?
Let me tell you, I think to fill up, I have a small car.
Yeah.
I think it's usually, I used to fill up with like $20, $25. It's now double, so $50. But it was actually 10 cents cheaper in Houston than it was here in San Antonio, and it really surprised me. So best believe before I left, I filled up. I wanted to have like an extra canister. I'm always too scared, but yeah,
it adds up.
It definitely. Oh my gosh! Definitely. Now I'm having to restructure my budget to to fit in, you know, a full tank.
Yeah. So we're talking about these gas prices. Obviously, we can't escape this and the stress of rising gas prices for the first time. And this is ever. The nationwide average price for a gallon of gas is $5. It's only expected to keep climbing, and this is according to AAA.
So $5, right? That's a 19-cent jump from last week and almost $2 from this time last year. Here in San Antonio, the current average, according to AAA, is $4.68 for regular gas. Diesel prices, man, those are painful to even read. $5.23 per gallon.
Ouch. Okay, so what is to blame here? Well, it's a lot of things. It's a combination of rising global oil prices, of course, sanctions against Russia. We know that is still an ongoing conflict there. Russia is the world's leading oil producer, and there's also limits on refining capacity here in the United States, of course, due to the pandemic.
Yeah, so here's another scary part. These high prices aren't a record. Can you believe that? So that's if you take inflation into account. Back in the summer of 2008, that's when gas peaked at $4.11, but today that would actually be equivalent to $5.40.
Ouch. Yeah.
So we're not there yet.
Ouch, ouch, ouch.
So we talked about my trip to Houston.
Yeah.
You know, anytime someone would like pass me and be like really aggressive, usually like it's annoying and I'm like, you're just burning through that gas, you're lost.
Yeah. So I recently was in El Paso and had to do the drive.
Did you drive?
I drove, yeah, I drove, and it was rough. It was about $100 just to fill up. I mean, it was bad. I mean, so, and that didn't even get me, one full tank didn't even get me all the way. So people that know that drive, my guy Justin maybe, a bit over here off to the side. It is rough, and I really was like, okay, I guess I'm not gonna eat today because I gotta pay for gas.
Well, you know, now there's more tips circulating on what you can do to make it last longer. And one of those is filling up in the mornings. That way it's not as hot, and then the fumes aren't evaporating or something like that. And then the other one, if you see that they're like bringing in a shipment of oil, what is it called when they actually, I sound so silly right now.
When they, I guess, when they refill the pumps and everything.
Yes. To not fill your gas tank then because it gets mixed up with sediment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I did not know that. Yeah. Okay, good tips. Yeah, AAA I know has a lot of different things that you can check out there. But hey, speaking of checking out stuff, this is pretty cool right here. This is a pretty interesting phenomena. This month, you can take a fun tour of the solar system. That's right, the solar system for free.
Yeah.
How about this? Yeah, or at least that's how an astronomer at NASA described this month's phenomenon.
So it's a conjunction, that's the actual term. Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn will perfectly align in the coming weeks. Plus, the crescent moon will also be in position, so you'll be able to see that, and that's going to be between Venus and Mars. And this is a rare solar system extravaganza, or what did you call it? A planet party that we're all invited to?
Yeah. So NASA says that this is just a coincidence and it doesn't happen often. So the last time that 5 planets all aligned was in December of 2004, and the next time it will happen is in 2040. Wow. So we'll still be doing KSAT News Now.
2040?
That's a little while.
Justin, maybe.
It's 18 years from now.
Never know.
Yeah, well, some dates to keep in mind if you are a sky gazer. On June 16th is when you'll be able to spot Mercury a bit easier, and that's because it's getting away from the sun. And on June 24th, just an hour before sunrise, so get up early, you'll be able to see that lining of the that lining up of the 5.
The astronomical conjunction. Here we go.
Planets.
Yeah, this is pretty cool stuff here.
December 2004. Where were you, Justin?
Wow.
December 2004.
He was watching the last conjunction. What do you mean?
That's right.
That's what I hope you would
I was in
answer.
college. It's hazy back then. I don't know.
Wow.
But yes.
Okay. You were conjunctioning.
But it feels like we're living on Mercury at this point.
Right?
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, another triple.
They're not the red
week.
planet, right?
No, that's
No,
Mars.
Mars. Dang it.
Oh, I'm so glad I didn't answer.
Mercury's the hottest, though, right? Closest to the sun.
That's exactly right. Speaking of which, where was the hottest place in the country yesterday? What do you think? Death Valley, Phoenix, San Antonio, or Laredo? Those are your choices.
I say D. Laredo.
Okay.
Well, I mean, if a town has death on it, and we're talking about heat, it's got to be a Death Valley. I know it's hot over there, though.
So you're going with the obvious choice here.
Yeah, I'm going with the obvious.
All right, you're right.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he's right. I didn't. I thought it would be a trick question. I thought for sure you guys would go with San
In
Antonio.
Cali?
It is. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yesterday
yeah.
it got up to 118 there.
Yeah. Oh my.
But Death Valley is typically one of the hottest spots.
Yeah. It's like their desert area, right? It's part of their desert?
Yeah, I mean, it owns the record for the hottest place in the world, so stands to reason. But we were close.
Wow.
Cotulla got up to 111 yesterday.
Oh my.
San Antonio was
Lord.
105.
Cotulla, how are you doing? My gosh.
We do need to check on them. I was telling them
Wow.
earlier, I got out and mowed the yard in the heat of the day. It just had to be done. But I was looking around my neighborhood. Usually there's kids walking around, there's people riding their bikes.
Yeah,
Nobody.
Yeah.
Everyone was in their house, which is
Streets
probably
are
the smarter
empty,
move.
staying out of the heat.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't, stay inside where the AC is. That's the best advice we can give you. All right, there we go. High temperatures yesterday, 105 here in San Antonio, 105 in New Braunfels. I mentioned Cotulla, 111. It was 108 in Eagle Pass, 106 in Carrizo Springs. We've had 12 days of 100 degrees or above so far at San Antonio International. This is pretty wild, though. The record for number of 100-degree days is back in 2009. We had 59, 57 in 2011. But back then, at this point, at this date, we only had 2 days at 100 or above. And in 2011, we only had 3 days. So we are way ahead of schedule, and we are definitely on pace to take one of those records out. Not a good record to beat, but that's just the way this summer's shaping up. Forecast highs today around 101 here in San Antonio, a lot more triple digits. Not as hot as yesterday, so there's that, but still hot nonetheless. 101 Elmendorf, 99 in Floresville, 99 in Seguin, 100 in Bandera today, and 100 out in Uvalde, 103 in Carrizo Springs. Heat index forecast, it's going to stay pretty elevated most of this week. Yeah, the temperatures come down a little bit, maybe Wednesday, but the heat index is still going to be there all week long. We don't have heat advisories, but it's still dangerous out there with the humidity and this kind of heat. You just don't want to mess around with it. So all this week, we'll be dealing with that, and the Saharan dust is in place. That's going to keep things kind of hazy. High pressure is in control. It tries to move a little bit next couple days. Opens up the door a little bit for maybe a shower as we get into Wednesday. Not a great chance. High pressure builds back in Thursday, and then by Friday, moves north, opens the door once again. Small chances of rain. Most of us stay dry, but I do want to throw that in there. Very quickly in the tropics, we are watching this area of disturbed weather here. Hurricane Center gives us a 30% chance of development over the next 5 days. Based on where the ridge pipe pressure is, this probably stays away from us, but it is something to watch. We'll see how it develops next few days. And there's your extended forecast. Not much to it, guys. A lot of hundreds there. We come down below that number maybe Wednesday, and you see some of those small rain chances in there.
And then we got the dust, the Saharan dust going on there too.
Just one more thing to add to the misery of the summer, I suppose.
Hot and hazy, huh?
Pretty much.
Okay.
I'm just glad we don't have Cotulla temperatures right now, 111.
Yeah, Cotulla. What is up with that?
Man.
Wow.
Brutal.
Yeah.
That is brutal. Thank you, Justin.
You got it.
Justin with a little bit of a depressing. What was this one?
At least it's
Hey,
not
but-
104.
That's
So,
true. Yeah.
I'm like, I'm fine.
And congrats to Justin's Aggies who are going to the College World Series. There we go. A&M.
Yes.
UT also. Boo.
Bigger
But no, I'm just
applause.
Okay, so going back to Pride Month,
Yes. We talked about this.
KSAT is doing it big.
We are, definitely. So, wanted to give a big congratulations and shout out to one of our digital journalists, Ivan Herrera. He has been named the 2022 Media Icon. He won this award from the Pride Center, San Antonio, over the weekend.
Yeah, so this is the 2022 Pride Icon Award. How awesome. So you may be familiar with his stories because he produces the South Texas Pride series and then writes a lot of stories for the that focus on the LGBTQ community. So how awesome to see him recognized on this stage. So happy for him. Congratulations.
Yeah, he posted some pictures from the event from over the weekend. I believe Mayor Ron Nirenberg was also honored as being an icon too. So big congrats to Ivan. Yeah, this is something that he's passionate about, telling these stories from the community, from the LGBTQ plus community as well. And always enjoy having conversations with him about this, and just to see how focused and dedicated he is when it comes to this. This is a really cool honor and something well deserved for Ivan, who's worked here at KSAT for a little while now. So yeah, good stuff.
Congrats to him again. And remember that San Antonio is hosting the first ever Pride Month River Parade, and that's happening this weekend. So already here, June 18th is when you want to be downtown for the Pride River Parade.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a first for San Antonio.
Yeah, definitely. So we have a lot of things coming up here throughout the rest of the month. And as far as today, I think we're good to go, Alicia. It's Monday. Got to get on to the news of the day.
All right, you guys. We'll see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Be safe and have a good day.